Sup everybody, welcome to the best oat milk of 2019 video here on the Proto Vegan channel. Today we're going to be looking at all of the available oat milks in my area that you can purchase at the grocery store or your local co-op. And of course we're going to include the homemade milk to determine how these guys measure up to the real thing. Now, oat milk is blowing up in 2019. I mean, this brand here, Oatly, from Sweden, it has been sold out in the United States where I'm from for weeks, maybe months, because it's in such high demand. But a lot of you folks out there may not realize that oat milk is actually a really old form of milk, plant milk, that people have been consuming. I think it originates from Spain, but it was passed over to Mexico and Central America in the very early 18th century, most likely. So it's safe to say that people have been drinking oat milk, or leche de avena, or agua de avena. So that would be oat of water, or water of oat, or milk of oat in Spanish. And so this is actually not a recent phenomenon, though we're very happy to see that this plant milk in particular is blowing up in the West right now. So I wanted to do a simple taste test, but first I'm going to explain how you make this stuff.
Begin by soaking your oats in a bowl of filtered water. Soaking many different plant foods, particularly legumes or grains, aids in the digestive process, which ultimately improves the nutritional profile of your food. For this milk, we soaked for only 30 minutes, but the longer the better. You could do it overnight and have better results that way. After the soak, discard the water and gently rinse the oats. Empty the rinsed oats into a blender and then add your water. The amount of filtered water that you decide to add here is ultimately what determines your milk's viscosity, which is how thin or thick the texture is. After you've blended the oats, you need to strain out the pulp. Run the milk through a cheesecloth and sieve or a nut milk strainer. Empty the strained milk into a non-plastic container. If you want to add additional ingredients to your milk, like a sweetener, some spices, or perhaps a protein powder, take care to add those ingredients until after the oat milk has been strained.
So that's how we made ours, and it's obviously going to be the cleanest oat milk here on the table. These are all shelf life products, so they last quite a while on the shelf, and they'll probably last over a week after you open them in the refrigerator. So they have quite a few preservatives in them, and I think all of them or most of them have some added vitamins as well. So oat milk probably is the most sustainable plant milk, and arguably the most nutritious as well. I mean, we need to study that some more. But oatmeal or oat is obviously very nutritious. Okay, so let's get straight into the taste test here. We've got 4 different brands. Now we got Planet Oat here. We got the Oat Yeah from Silk. This one actually just came out a few days ago to my knowledge. We got the infamous Oatly. And we also have the Pacific Foods. This one is coming in a smaller container, and this is actually not refrigerated at the store. So we do have a chocolate oat milk here on the table as well. This is more of a dessert drink. Obviously it has a lot of sugar added to it. 16 grams of sugar in 1 cup. So this is not what I would consider healthy or nutritious, but we couldn't go without trying at least one chocolate milk. And these other brands also produce chocolate milks. We just decided to get the Oatly because it's most hype. Okay, so let's start fresh with the Planet Oat here. They all have a different viscosity. You don't know what I mean by viscosity? It's basically how thick the liquid or the mixture is. Virtually odorless. It's very good. It has quite a bit of gum in it. There's a lot of plant-based gums that are thrown in these things. This one in particular has guar gum. I guess it's mostly the sunflower lecithin. Oh, gallon gum as well. So it's pretty thick. It's very creamy. A lot of people probably wouldn't be able to tell it's not cow's milk, to be honest. Of all the plant milks, I would say that oat milk is definitely the closest to cow's milk. So here we have the Silk Oat Yeah. About the same aroma. I would say this one's definitely a little bit more runny, more watery, and a stronger oatmeal flavor as well. Much stronger flavor. And not as creamy, not as gummy rather, as Planet Oat. I'm gonna do the chocolate milk last. Let's try this Oatly. This is actually the first time I've ever tried Oatly. In fact, that's the only one I've tried here is Oat Yeah so far, which is, like I said, a brand new product from Silk. Here's the Oatly straight out of Sweden. Can't get your hands on it. Super hype. Let's find out if it deserves all that hype. So this has no aroma that I'm detecting whatsoever. It's very smooth. You can kind of tell that this formula is more it's more masterful. Like they've tampered with their formula over time to make it exactly the way they want it, whereas Silk, for example, just came out with this formula, so they'll probably be adjusting it. Now, Oatly does make the claim that this is the first oat milk. Where does it say that? And because we were the company that made the original oat milk 25 years ago when it wasn't very cool to make oat milks, we're pretty sure that if you had you wait 25 years to try this original oat milk, it wouldn't disappoint you. Blah, 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 blah. So basically these Swedes are making the claim that they invented oat milk, or they're kind of making that claim, which is, as I said, pretty lame because people have been drinking this stuff in Central America and Spain for at least a few hundred years. So, all right. So next we're gonna try the homemade milk that we actually just made before shooting this video. And these oats here, these are from Bob's Red Mill, hashtag no sponsor. And they were grown in Oregon, most likely. Their facilities in Oregon. It could be that they're importing these oats from around the world or around the country, but they're probably from Oregon. Definitely has the strongest scent of all these so far. Smells like really fresh oats. Definitely the most wholesome flavor. Once again, this is only filtered water and oatmeal, rolled oats. And this is definitely the most viscous. Slimy is a word I would use to describe it instead of creamy. I mean, obviously, if you want to imitate dairy milk, you want to go for creamy instead of slimy. That's why they add all the gums. I don't dislike the texture of the homemade milk, and it's definitely the cleanest on the table. So I'll be factoring that into our judgment. Next up, we'll try Pacific Foods. This is the last one we have here. This definitely has the most manufactured aroma to it, I would say. It smells a little bit artificial, probably because of the package it's in. Oh, and it's very sweet. What the? Why is this so sweet? Dear God, this is the sweetened edition. Well, actually they say organic original, but they obviously add tons of sugar to it. It's got 17 grams of sugar per cup, 240 milliliters. So that's almost like a dessert drink. And it does taste, it tastes like the package. I think this carton is some type of plastic, whereas the rest of these are paper. So definitely prefer the paper container because I can't taste it at all. Whereas with the plastic one, you can definitely taste that. All right, so now it's the final judgment. Okay, I've made my decision. So top two, it's between the Silk Oat Yeah, the brand new product from the USA, Colorado, in fact, and Oatly, the Swedish infamous super hype brand that you can't get your hands on. So, like I said, the Oatly formula definitely feels more refined, but I do feel as though they've tampered with the flavor of oat and instead try to create a formula that is not natural in its flavor. I feel like, and I gotta commend them for this, their effort is to imitate cow's milk. And that's great because it gets people away from cow's milk. It's way, way more nutritious than cow's milk. And it's not gonna hurt you and it's sustainable. So big props to Oatly for wanting to do that. However, I feel that the Silk Oat Yeah is more true to the oat milk in that it actually tastes like oats. It has the essence of oat in the milk. And I must say that I prefer that because I like the flavor of oatmeal and I'm not trying to replace dairy or lactose in my plant milk selection. So obviously Oatly is the most popular, but on the Proto Vegan channel, we prefer Oat Yeah because it tastes more like oat milk. I'm not saying that because I'm American, but look, this is a brand new product. People haven't even tried this yet. Over there in Sweden and Europe, where everybody loves Oatly, you gotta give this one a try. They've got about the same number of additives, so preservatives, added vitamins. What else is in here? Some gums, some salt, sunflower oil, surprisingly. I don't know, it really is a matter of opinion. They have the same texture, the same viscosity more or less. It's mostly the flavor that differs. In where we live, oh yeah, it's much easier to get your hands on because it's not imported.
It's just at the local grocery store.
But look guys, they're both fantastic. The reason I've chosen Oat Yeah for the 2019 Best Oat Milk is because it actually carries the essence of oats, and I feel like that kind of just gets lost in Oatly.
But Califia is coming out with an oat milk.
That's one thing we didn't mention. Califia Farms, we reviewed their eggnog on this channel. They're scheduled to release their oat milk line in April of 2019. So obviously it's not in this video. We're very excited to try that, but we wanted to put out this video while the year is still young so that people could kind of gauge where the oat milk game is at. Look, these are all great products. I have to say that Pacific, this product feels really, tastes unnatural. It's too sweet and they need to sort out this packaging because I taste plastic when I drink it. The homemade version, if you're a health guru and you want to stay as clean as possible, go with this option. It's also easy. It's easy to make this. You don't have to drive to the store. You save money doing it. It's more wholesome. There's no processed gums or preservatives or added vitamins that you don't need in here. This is the real deal, but a lot of people will probably be turned off by this texture because it doesn't have that iconic milk texture that these gums help to achieve. So all in all, I'm gonna give these guys like a 1 through 5 rating just to sort of gauge where they're at on the scale. Oat Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.8 out of 5. Oatly, I'll give a 4.5 out of 5. Next is Planet Oat. Give it a 4.2 out of 5. Then probably the Home Milk. It's not really fair to give that a rating against these processed products, but I definitely prefer the Oat Yeah to the homemade milk. So we'll give it a 4.2 out of 5 as well. And then this guy, unfortunately, I have to give it a low rating. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. If you're adding this to a sweet cereal, you're gonna overdose on sugar. There's just too much sugar in here and it tastes like plastic. So better luck next time, Pacific Foods. And lastly, I'm gonna try this basically dessert milk from Oatly, the chocolate. It's not fair to include this in the rating. Wow, it's really good though. Definitely better than cow's chocolate milk, definitely. The chocolate tastes very high quality. Oh, it's good. Very refreshing. Look guys, if you're living in the US, you're gonna see oat milk all over the place this year. They're gonna be offering it at your local coffee shops and cafes as a plant milk. It's, like I said, it's the most sustainable, which means it should be the least expensive, and it's arguably the most nutritious milk on the planet. So you're probably gonna see that everywhere. Europeans, you're probably already aware of this because Oatly already blew up over there. But these are all fantastic options. Hope you enjoyed this video. I want to say that the best milk available in 2019, excluding Califia Farms because we haven't tried that yet, is the Silk Oat Yeah. And I really like that name too, Oat Yeah. Oat Yeah, baby. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to Proto Vegan and let us know what you want to see in future videos. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.